Nice.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Mel. Hi, Andre.
I'm sorry, I don't have my Aloha shirt on. I was like,
I know. But listen, I messed up, you guys.
give me 1 second.
I put Mel couldn't really be on until 8 p.m. his time. And boy, did I mess up the time or what?
That's all right. I'm on my. I can't see the chat. Well, maybe I can. Oh,
Can you see it?
no, I can't.
Well, you know, I'll post people. Dan wrote me and said I already have. Oh, I got 716 in the room.
Wow.
It's pouring down rain here. Where is it? What's it like with you, Andre?
Rain.
Rain.
It's raining and raining and raining. It didn't rain for months, but then when it started
No.
raining, it never stopped.
How about you, sweetie?
Sun's shining here today. In fact, I went to Wisconsin to work on that case I was telling you about with Ron.
How was that?
It was amazing, Linda. I told him all about you, and he wants to meet you.
What?
Yep, and I told him you were willing to do some stuff with us, and he was really excited. So.
Oh, I'd love to. And this is Faces of the Forgotten, you guys. I love that show.
But there's a new channel he's starting.
What's the name of it?
If I screw this up, I'll be back on. But just give me 1 second. I can tell you.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
You know, I'm doing this from my iPhone, so it's like
this guy that runs this, he goes to he tells you the story about tragedies that have happened, and he goes to the cemeteries. And I'm a Patreon on his account. I really enjoy it.
Right. Hold on, give me 1 second. Oh, it's called Intangible Guests. There's
Intangible
Guests.
Okay, I'll have to join
and this was a case up in Wisconsin. I didn't know anything about it until we got up there. All I knew was it was this woman and her husband that were murdered. And so when we got up there, we went to the scene. But what had happened is this woman who was murdered, her intangible quest, I think it's called, not intangible guest, intangible.
Thank you, Jenny.
Intangible quest. Anyway, so I guess there was the father who died, and when he died, I guess he left property to one of his daughters, and the other son, I don't know if felt cheated or whatever, and so he left this farmhouse to the daughter supposedly. I might have the story a little mixed up, but anyway, she went there to cut the grass, and when she got there was I guess she thought there was a burglary. She called the police department, but meanwhile he was holed up in the house and he shot her. Then he murdered her husband. Oh, and so then he was never seen or heard from again, but some neighbors saw him running off. So I went up there to try to see what I could pick up, and I laid right in the place where they found her body, and I hooked into his energy, and I feel like he's alive, and I felt like he was in maybe Florida or a southern state somewhere. So I'm going to continue to try to figure out where he's at.
Wow.
So I'll open that up to you all. If you
I love these forensic file type things.
I was just going to say, we're going to see that on the forensic files next for sure.
If you get any
good mystery, how about you guys?
Yep. And Ron's a nice guy. So if you get any hits on it, let me know. But, they know that, well, when I was there, I said he ran through this field. There was a big field back behind those trees, and I didn't know anything. And that was right. And then we went to the cemetery where they were buried. And I said, my blood ran cold because after they were buried, my feeling is he hadn't left Wisconsin yet. And I feel like he visited that cemetery. So anyway.
Holy cow.
Yeah, then he torched the house. So he was in the house, I guess, and he torched it. I think he used like gasoline or something. I felt some kind of accelerant. And so it was passive aggressive. If I'm not going to get this, nobody's going to get it, and I'll show you. Um, and I think it was also to create a diversion. He planned the whole thing in my mind. He planned it.
Wow,
So,
and I love cold case stuff, you guys.
well, he's on the lam. So I guess today was to see, maybe where he was, and we'll see.
See, we can get it down.
Yep.
So welcome everybody. Thank you. So we have 1,547 in what, 5 minutes?
And here's a crazy ass Mel going, I thought it was 8
So
o'clock.
we really appreciate it. And it was Andre that said his sister watched us and decided that he should have a 3-way with the 3 of us.
That's not quite how he said it.
It's also not what happened. She said that. You said that.
Oh, okay.
She said that
Yvonne.
the two of you were talking, and the two of you were talking and said, well, maybe we should discuss this with Andre or something about Andre. So then she told me, and then I told you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was saying we need to hit Andre up. I always say that on other shows too, though. We need to ask Andre. So Andre, pull out your psychic astrology wheel and let us know what you're getting. Anything lately, or?
Well, I mean, right now we're all, we're on pins and needles with the election. That's the main thing. And I haven't changed my perception of this, even though there are all these cross currents in the news, about Republicans having the momentum and this and that. But I just don't see it that way. It doesn't feel that way to me. What do you pick up, or what's your sense of what's going on?
From the beginning, I've been saying ants. So I saw the Democrats winning because the ants are marching out. And they'll go through anything. And a guy was on Mueller, she wrote, and he was on their show, and he was talking about, he's like Michael Moore. Thank you, Blue Tarot Journey. He's saying that the way they get the numbers that these polls do is based on mostly a Republican information. He said right now, millions of people have voted, and millions of them are Gen Z. They don't know how they voted, but they're Gen Z and they're women. But I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He's saying if it was up to him to make a bet, he would say the Dems are going to take the Senate and the House.
Well, you hear like so many different polls, and now it's like, it's neck and neck, and before it was the Republican. You know what? My guides just told me, and I've been saying this all along, the Dems have got to get out and vote. We cannot take this midterm for granted, because if we do, we could easily lose. That's all my guides have been saying.
Right.
And my guides have shown me a win. But
Thank you, Meg.
But that win is contingent upon people going out to vote, period.
Well, so, I mean, if that's true, though, the numbers have been really high.
Yes.
The numbers, I think it's more than 30% higher than in 2018 when people were really mad at Trump and they voted in large numbers. So,
and also it's higher than 2020. I mean, the people are coming out to vote with a passion. So yeah, they're coming out to vote.
Yeah. That's true, but that all depends on how many Republicans are coming out to vote, how many independents are coming out to vote.
There's more of us than there are of them.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
There is. A lot of them died in COVID, and there's more of us than it is of them.
Yeah, I used to wonder about that when I was watching Fox News at times, and I'd be thinking, you're killing off your voters. Why are you telling them not to take vaccines? You need these people to vote for you.
So, I know. I was thinking that too.
Oh, by the way, Andre, it's very nice to meet you.
Likewise. Well, I've heard about you a lot, so very nice to meet you.
Andre, you need to book a reading with Mel. He's very good.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Linda called me. She goes, "Where are you?" I go, "What do you mean, where am I?" I'm like, I didn't have my Aloha shirt. I'm like, well, okay, let me see what I can do here. It's like
Mel's a lot like me, because if I get screwed up, I get over. But he went with it. He flew. He said, "That's cool. I'll use my phone. I'll do this," because I was apologizing, and he's like, "A lot of help that's going to do."
I said, "Apology not accepted, Grandma." I wanted to do this 3-way, and now I'm going to do it.
The thing that gives me hope also is Andre looks at Biden's chart, and Biden is doing real good in November.
Well, that was the key, because if anything, Biden's chart is the one that signals the strongest. Then if I go to Pelosi versus McCarthy, is close, but I still prefer Pelosi. And between McConnell and Schumer, I don't know McConnell's time, but just with what I know, I would still pick Schumer. So those also correlate. But the Biden thing is very strange because he's got a choice just perfect in November for winning, and he needs this because it's
And Andre, you have told us, me especially since I started reading with you, you have said Trump had this chart that he got away with everything. And it was like a good luck thing. He's getting away with everything.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you saw him falling and you said, oh, he's going down. And let me tell you, 2023 is a pretty bad year. And that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, in 2022 is not exactly.
So I'm not watching the news. I don't know about you guys.
I haven't watched it. I remember the last election when Linda and I were watching the news. It was like,
I know. It's nuts.
I'm like, where's the Valium? I need it.
You know what, though, Andre? I got a bad feeling about. We did my thing today. I'm going to post it on governor and Senate. And I got a bad feeling about that cray-cray woman in Arizona. I'm thinking Katie Hobbs didn't fight hard enough. And by the way, the guy that did Mueller report, he said he's worried about Arizona and New Mexico and Nevada. And even California wasn't coming out to vote. Now, in the past 2 days, they're starting to vote again. And New York was a little lax, but everybody else, Georgia and Florida, are just beyond. They're just voting.
Well, we can't afford to lose any Senate seats because it's 50-50 right now, isn't it? Yeah, 50-50, I think.
But that's for governor.
Yeah. Carrie Lake is for governor.
Carrie Lake is
governor.
I
see.
Well,
people, you all need to get out and vote because in those states, women's rights are at issue. So everybody got to vote.
It's a close call. I honest to God, really, for the first time, it's leaning towards Katie Hobbs, but I don't know.
Now I'm sorry. Now who's running against who? What state is that? I'm sorry.
That's Arizona. It's that crazy woman that used to be a weather person or something, or a TV personality.
Oh, now who is she? Is that Katie Hobbs or who?
No, that's what's her name?
Carrie Lake.
Carrie Lake. She's the one that said because of the raid on Mar-a-Lago, which it wasn't a raid, they called and said we're coming now. Okay. Because of the raid, if she becomes governor, she's going to have Arizona secede from the union.
Well, that's illegal. So that means if she does that, then she can be indicted under the federal system because according to the Constitution, it's illegal to secede from the union.
That's what she announced.
Well, she can say that all she wants, but there's another state that's talking about secession, and that's Texas. And these politicians are really, these Trumplicans are really sincere about it. And they talk about the Constitution. Well, they better read it because that's unconstitutional.
Thank you, Lily. Yeah. Thank you. So, but Texas, Beto's going to win. I'm going to tell you right now, Beto's going to win. I can feel it. I can smell it. And there's a lot of people voting in Texas, by the way.
I pray that you're right.
Wow, that's a big call because I almost think that it's easier for Katie Hobbs to win that Arizona race than for Beto to beat.
Really?
Yeah, just because Texas is Texas. Texas is a really difficult state because it's still trending more red than blue, and they have a lot of restrictions and a lot of they're very anti-democracy already as it is, so it can make it tough. But hey, I would be doing cartwheels if that happened because that would be like a hurricane, like
Did you look at Beto's chart?
I did, but I don't have a time, and it's I don't have a good sense, Beto and Abbott. My initial thing was that he wasn't going to win, but I'm totally happy to change my mind and go with your.
How about Abbott? How's Abbott's chart look?
Abbott's is okay. Again, I have no time. So when I have no time, I can't. It's sort of the same with Lake and Hobbs. Although I thought that on the strength of just today, without any time, I preferred Hobbs chart to Lake's. So,
Well, even if Abbott wins, at some point I see him gone, especially if he tries the secession stuff.
Now, Abbott is not talking succession. It's Carrie Lake.
No, there's somebody in Texas talking secession, though.
Is it Abbott?
No, but Abbott hasn't gone against it, and so, yeah, I think if they start seceding, that could put us in a civil war. To a degree, I think we already are in a bloodless one with the Trumplicans against the rest of us.
Right.
But does anybody see violence happening at all? Any huge violence on election tomorrow?
there's that. I think of that as at minimum, it's going to be tense, and there might be some violence because just where Mars is, it's in a really complicated place, and the way the country is, processing information these days. And on top of that, there's a full moon and an eclipse. So when the moon is full, the emotions run a lot stronger. And then if you add a combat planet like Mars into the mix, and not only is it Mars in that spot, it's affecting the U.S. chart. Like it's Mars right now is extra strong in the sky, but it's next to where it is in the U.S. chart. So all the U.S. Kind of disagreement, violence type stuff is up in the air. So I'm, keeping my fingers crossed that it won't go that far, but it might. It might.
Well, there's a lunar eclipse tomorrow, I think. And what does Mars represent? I have to hit my astrology brush up. What is Mars about?
Mars is basically it's the planet of war. Ooh. So, like for instance, if you get Mars in your chart at any point, you get those urges, to slap someone or yell at someone, or those internal feelings of like that.
Like I want to smack them in the middle of next week.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So now most of the time, normal people in quotes, you restrain those things because it's not good for you or for the people you strike or whatever. But if you're, an oath keeper or any person that has, like this crazy guy, that went and talked Pelosi's house and things like that, those are usually martial adventures where you're very angry and feeling aggressive, and then you try to do something violent. And so if you see it placed
Thank you,
in a
Terry.
tricky spot, then it's not a bad guess to say the situation at minimum, I think, is going to be very tense. I would be amazed if we get to, Wednesday, Thursday, and everything is calm. I'd be totally amazed. That's all.
Well, the thing I'm getting is terrorists. Behind the scenes, not a group. I see idiots like with Nancy Pelosi's house. I see chicken, type shooting at people just for the sake of shooting at them. I see a little bit of that there because I see any major kind of terrorist action being caught by the government. I've seen that before. Like they stop it before it happens. They won't be able to stop everything, but.
Well, I do see some outbreaks of violence. I don't think it's going to be humongous, but I do see outbreaks. And I think, Linda, I agree with you, especially around, some politicians' homes and things like that. Yeah. But, notice it's never around Republicans' houses. It's always around Democrats' houses when that happens. That happened around a Republican house. They would go crazy, right?
Right.
And I'm not calling for violence.
That big-headed guy from Fox News, Tucker Carlson, he claimed that they were doing, and there was a few people protesting near his house, and he claimed they were doing all this stuff, and it was a nothing burger. He lied.
Well, he always lies. You're talking about Moscow Carlson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have a nickname for him. It wasn't Moscow Carlson. I forget what it was. I haven't talked about him in a long time.
Right. And I saw an article today about the gal from Alabama or Arkansas. What's her name? Sarah Huckabee.
Oh, Pearls?
They said she's worse than her father. She's a bad seed. And she lies, and I see her winning.
Well, I see her winning too, but she lied for Trump when she was his press secretary, and that's kind of frightening.
But nothing we can do about Arkansas right now.
No, um, not considering that's where Bill Clinton was from.
I know.
But I don't know. You know, and the thing I want to tell everybody, and this is not really a psychic thing, it's just a Mel thing, and I'll let people know when it's a Mel thing, is that if you all think they're going to get election results by tomorrow night, you'll get some, but I'm thinking there's going to be some contested elections, and if a lot of the repubes win, they're not going to concede right away. So this could, the results of this could go on for weeks.
Yeah, you mean a lot of the Dems win, not the repubes.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. If a lot of the Dems win, it's
they're
going
to make recount, and then it's going to go through, and they're not going to be able to turn it around. They're not going to be able to.
Well, no, but it's going to be all the allegations and all the big lie cropping up again and all that stuff. But
right.
I don't. We're all going to be on pins and needles for a while. So
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, and the setup is for that, and the astrology is definitely for contention. For instability, and yeah, no question, it's not a smooth energy at all.
You told us what Mars is, so what does the eclipse mean? Thank you. Oh my God, Lupe, thank you.
Well, the eclipse is it's a kind of an intense energy point, but it's good for some people and not good for other people. So some people are going to be very unhappy and some people are going to be more happy. I've experienced eclipses where I could feel the energy really drop and felt really bad. And I've experienced some where it's a big energy surge where you get a new direction. It feels really clear. And you notice that Biden, it's affecting him. It's affecting McCarthy. It's affecting Pelosi. It's affecting all of them because they all have planets in line with the eclipse. So as it turns out, the eclipse is Taurus, Scorpio. So if you have planets in Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, then that eclipse is triggering that. And it turns out all those people do. McConnell, Schumer, Pelosi, McCarthy, and Biden, all of them. Right? So happy, sad, depending on who's who.
I can't believe it's here, you guys. I can't believe it's here.
Oh, I know. It's like, whoa.
It's like when we were talking about it before, it seemed so far away, but I have to go. I'm at peace with my guys. They were very clear about the ants, and they told me, don't worry, Linda, the ants, which means the young people and the women were going to come out and build bridges across rivers. You know how ants can do that? They can just go on top of each other and build a bridge. Yeah. So I said, okay. And then if the Dems get in, that's when you're going to see a lot of these people having to go because they were part of the insurrection. They haven't gone that far yet, but they will.
Well, I saw the lights come on and all the cockroaches can't find a place to hide anymore. They can't run behind the woodwork. That's what I've been seeing.
Thank you, Mel.
And I just pulled a card just to see how the outcome would look for the Democrats overall. And Linda, you can help me with this, but I pulled the Lovers.
Passion.
Yep.
Passion.
And then I pulled another regular deck, and it was a 5 of Hearts. And a 5 of Hearts would mean it's a good omen, but it means exposure of secrets. So the way I'm reading that, it's a good omen for the Dems, but a lot of exposure of secrets that's going to come through about the Republicans. So that's how I read it.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Thank you. Thank you, Buddha. Nice people here. So we have to get the counting them out, and I have to divide it 3 ways amongst y'all.
No.
Either that, or I'll send you an 8x10 glossy, a picture of me, autograph.
I want the 8x10 glossy autograph.
I was watching this comedian who I just went blank on, but it was on Saturday Night Live, and oh God, she was so gross, but she was hysterical. And she said something. My husband and I like to role play. We really enjoy role playing. Like, I know, I got one. I'm in a coma. Go ahead.
That's funny.
I thought that was hysterical.
I bought this. I bought this in Hawaii. It's got the Hawaiian Islands on it. Is that
Oh,
close
there
enough
you
to,
go.
is that
That's
close enough to an Aloha shirt?
that's good. So, Andre, with all the dynamics with Mars and everything, are you feeling a little earth change at all, or something coming up
Where in the? You mean in the planet? Where
in
am
the
I?
planet itself? I know you don't do hurricanes and stuff, but
Yeah, I know hurricanes and earthquakes. I mean, I've seen some really interesting charts. Remember that time when the that Florida building just collapsed,
Oh,
and
yes.
I normally look for charts for that, and I don't get anything useful. But I found the city and the state of Florida, and it was really interesting how you could see it there. You could see the astrology of it, but it's not something that I go looking for. I'll look at it after the fact. But the idea of predicting that kind of thing, I mean, you can't do everything. The politics already is incredibly complicated.
right,
And,
yeah.
yeah. And
But this resistance we're going in, trust me, at the end of the day, it's going to make us. Hey, Kevin, it's going to make us a better country. I'm telling you, it's going to make
Linda,
us a better country.
I'm role playing right now, Linda. I'm role playing the part of a psychic.
Oh, somebody
you do
said
that.
it was Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer
Amy
is.
Schumer. Yes.
Oh
yes,
my
yes.
God, she can say things that make you embarrassed, but she's so funny. Hey, Lorraine, thank you. So Amy Schumer did this little bit called The Looker. And it's like this family gets a letter, they move in this house, and Amy is the mother, and there's a guy and the two kids who are older. And she says, here comes this letter, and it turns into a weird voice, and it says, I have been watching your family. I know what you do. I've watched your daughter write in her diary and your son playing his guitar and the husband going jogging and your wife, by the way, when all of you are in bed, she goes down into the kitchen and eats a second meal.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. That was on Saturday Night Live. That's hilarious. I saw that.
Oh my God, he knows me. And she's calling it a lie. Oh, that's absolutely. And then she watches the Property Brothers and she plays with herself.
I saw that. Yeah.
Oh
That's
God,
very.
thank you,
that's-
Katie.
That's very.
Well, my role playing is psychic. I don't have a crystal ball, but I have a lump of coal. And by the price gouging going on, this thing is worth a fortune.
I'll tell you. I see. Did the as you know, I mean, we in America are very lucky considering. Oh, there's 2,893 in the room.
Wow.
The Dow went up 423 points. NASDAQ went 89 points. I mean, we are so lucky. Yeah, we're going to get higher interest rates, but.
Well, I see the interest rates coming down next year. I think the Fed's going to lower them. They did that to stop the runaway housing market because they didn't want another crash like 2008.
Right.
But I see that coming down. I wish the stock market would have gone up 3 days ago because people were voting. But I don't know. I just see people in record turnout. So, a lot of people are saying, why vote? I'm like, no. You've got to vote.
I went to Safeway the other day and chicken was like $15 for a pack of chicken breasts. And it dropped. It was on sale again. So
well, part of that is the price gouging. It really is. And we've said that all along.
Right. But now what happened is people stopped buying it because they didn't want to pay that price. Now they're dropping the price. That's what you do, you guys. You just don't buy the people that are price gouging.
I've still got meat in my freezer.
I wonder if the inflation in the U.S. could be tied to the Jupiter cycle, because Jupiter in Aries until next May it's inflationary. It's challenging the U.S. plans, but then it changes signs. So that there's a possibility that's what it'll be. It'll slow down.
So, Andre, if I'm born into the sign of Aries, 1 degree, March 22nd, what does Jupiter and my sun sign mean?
That's good. Jupiter, like you're right at the beginning, at the very beginning.
Yes.
1 degree. Yeah. So, first of all, this year is really good all around. This year, meaning May, 22 to May 23. That's when Jupiter, broadly speaking, is in Aries. Like right now in November, December, it backtracked into Pisces, thereby helping Biden a whole lot. But Biden is doing well, even with Jupiter in Aries too, because you noticed from May to December, that's when he passed the legislation. And so it's a nice area for him as well. So he's okay now and he's okay in the new year. You've got the whole swath until next May. And probably the super nicest point, if you're right at the beginning, is right around the Christmas vacation, because that's when it's right on top of your sun. So Jupiter there, that's a perfect time to travel somewhere, like go to Hawaii, as you know, do the thing that because that's Jupiter is perfect for that.
Cool. Yay.
Oh, when was the last time you were in Hawaii, Mel?
It's been 3 years. And so we're leaving on December the 17th and we'll be there to the 24th and then we're coming back home.
That's
So
perfect.
Oh, wow. You're going to take
That's
a
perfect.
holiday.
That's exactly. Let me just check and I'll tell you when Jupiter's on top of your sun. It's on top of the sun. Well, you'll feel it already by the 21st, but even into the new year. So there's a high into it the first week of January. It's right conjunct your sun. So it fits perfect. Yeah.
yay, good.
Well chosen trip.
Yay.
Well chosen trip. People often choose
Does
spontaneous.
it say he's going to take his Virgo friend on his vacation?
That's a separate part of the chart. I don't know, but maybe.
I'm just kidding.
I think we should do a seminar in Hawaii. I've been telling you, we could sell it out.
I just don't like Hawaii because it's so humid and my natural curly hair goes straight up.
Well, but if you do it the right time of year, you've always got, the trade winds are always blowing. So, it's not as hot. It's not unbearably hot.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being humid. I was there in December a few years ago, and it was Kauai, but I don't remember it being humid.
Oh, honey, I've been there several times in Maui and the main island, and every time, because I have natural curly hair, and I'm telling you, it goes straight up. It's so humid.
But when I'm in Hawaii, my allergies never bother me. It must be the trade wind, the salt water. I mean, they don't bother me. Here, I'm like,
Right. So, I wanted to tell you guys, I got a couple more hits. Oh, Andre, how do people book with you? What's that? Where do they go?
Just go to the channel and go to the About section, and it's there. It shows.
Okay, so the channel's at Andre.
Astrology Alert. Astrology Alert. That's the channel. Yeah. And if not, put my name in.
.com, .org, .what?
No, the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel.
Go to his YouTube channel, you guys.
Yeah, and then just go to the About section of the channel, and in the About section, there's a link there to.
Have you been pretty busy?
Yeah, I've been pretty busy. Yeah.
And Mel, how do they call your office, right?
They can either email me, mel@meldor.com. That's mel@meldor, DOERR.com. Or call my office at 847-590-5411. 847-590-5411. I haven't called the office because I get so many emails. I have somebody answering them, but she's been out of work she worked here one day a week, but she's got to go for a hip replacement. So,
okay. Thank you, Lisa.
It takes a while for me to get back to
And if you want to reach me, it's Bodacious Tatas. Bodacious Tatas at lindag.com.
How do you spell bodacious?
Oh, no. Oh, God. Sorry. Oh, listen, it was Andre. Poor Andre. He's sitting there trying, he's a Capricorn, right? He's kind of solid. He's grounded. He's the one I came up, I think, with the double wide JCPenney underwears, right? Andre, wasn't it you?
Yeah,
sometimes he gets this uncomfortable look, like, what the hell am I supposed to be holding something? What is she talking about?
Yeah, well, I do have Sagittarius planet, so I can get into laughing pretty quickly.
You're a great audience.
Capricorn.
I've got 3 planets in Scorpio. Go figure.
Okay, that's not particularly as fun oriented. The fun is more, Aries would be fire signs, for example. Jupiter and comedians. If you look at charts and someone like Seth Meyers, whatever, you'll see Jupiter really strongly featured because it's the happy, happy energy. And
I wonder if I have Jupiter. I don't think I have Jupiter. I don't think I have Aries. I can't remember. Mine might be Leo.
yeah, you have Leo. That's yours. You have Leo, so that's your comedian side.
Yeah.
It's called the bodacious Tata side.
Oh God, I can't help it, you guys. I can't help it.
I know how to. I know how to spell Tata.
You know how to spell tatas.
Is that TAHTAH or TATA?
Audacious tatas.
Who said do not adjust your screen? Linda's head is that big. Is that you or is that someone?
That's me.
That's Linda.
Sorry. Here's my other one.
Auntie Mel in the house.
There we go.
So
Yeah,
anyway.
don't forget it. You mess with my Linda and you'll get smacked in the middle of next week.
Hey, listen, and I'm old too, and I'll give you that old whoop your ass. The older whoop your ass is serious. Medea. I saw Medea in jail or whatever. It's Medea or Medea. And I was laughing. I got to tell you, as crazy as that humor is, she said, somebody was messing with her. She said, you know what? I got the old whoop your ass. That's some serious stuff.
My grandmother used to say, if you kids don't be good, your rear end's going to belong to me or the Lord. And by the time I'm done with it, you'll wish it went to the Lord. Okay. She never touched us. She was just when she
just with hysteria, huh?
Oh, we would do stuff. We would do stuff just to get her kind of riled because we loved her sayings.
Do you remember that great comedian Richard Pryor, and he'd talk about his father saying, his grandmother saying, go grab a stick off that tree because I'm going to whoop your butt with it. And he would just pick a tiny stick, she said, oh, I'm going to get the whole tree now. So listen, you guys, I'm going to post this. This is for my governor picks, okay? So for Alabama, I do get Yolanda Flowers winning. For Alaska, I get Mike Dunleavy, the governor that's currently in power. Arizona, I'm on the fence. Carrie could very well be Carrie Lake or Katie Hobbs. I really didn't get a tight yes on that. Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee. California, Gavin Newsom. Colorado, Jared Polis. Connecticut, Ned Lamont. Florida, Charlie Crist. By the way, I see Charlie Crist beating Ron DeSantis. I just have to go with what I see. Georgia, Stacey Abrams. Hawaii, Josh Green. All Dems. Idaho, the Republican in Idaho, Brad Little. Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. Iowa, Kim Reynolds, who's a Republican. Kansas, Laura Kelly. Maine, Janet Mills, she's Dem. Maryland, Westmore, Dem. Massachusetts, Maura Healey, Dem. Michigan, Gretchen Whitmore, Dem. Tim Walz in Minnesota, Dem. Jim Pillen for Nebraska, Repube. I don't see Joe Lombardi winning in Nevada, but Nevada's close too. But I see that current governor, Steve, winning. New Hampshire is actually, I get a Republican, Chris Sununu or something. He's the current governor. New Mexico, I do. Now, New Mexico's been on the fence, but I do get Michelle Grissom winning. She's the current governor. New York, Kathy Hochul. Ohio, Nan Wiley, who is a Democrat. I have Joy Hofmeister from Oklahoma, and this is for entertainment purposes only. And Joy is ahead by 5 or 6 points, and she will beat out Kevin Stitt. And by the way, I found out from my cousins that apparently the Republicans are talking trash about Stitt. That they no good. So, and he hasn't been good for the tribes, by the way. Oregon, Tina Kotex. Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro. Rhode Island, Daniel McGee, who's Dem. Joe Cunningham, no, he's not going to win. South Carolina is Henry McMaster. South Dakota, Jamie Smith. Tennessee, Jason Martin, Dem. Texas, Beto O'Rourke, Dem. Vermont is the same governor, Phil Scott. I hope I'm wrong. Wisconsin, Tony Evers, the current governor, who's Dem, and Wyoming, Mark Gardner, who's the current governor, and he's Republican. For entertainment purposes only, but that's my hits.
You know, the only
I
thing.
didn't,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't go through all of them. I'm just nervous about Florida. I see the Saint and gone at some point, but you know, I disagree.
read and reread, you guys. So, and listen, my friend works in the political realm, who met me because she was shocked. She saw my list and they had printed it and they were waiting to see what I said. And she said when those two Democratic, what is that noise?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
that was me shuffling the cards.
Okay, when those two the Reverend and the other guy, when they won in Georgia, she said your correct rate went up to 96%.
Wow. Well, you know,
No,
I didn't look at the dim so much. I mean, I answered questions, you know, on my show and on your show and all of that.
Right.
So I didn't look at it, you know, state by state. I just kind of.
Well, I do this for everybody with tradition. What are you saying, Andre? You were going to say something.
Well, what I was going to say is that I know that I'm with Mel on this one, but maybe I am, that the DeSantis thing, it feels like if that happened, that would be such an earthquake. And I don't think the polls are saying that, but it would really be a shock. Although,
the polls are saying that. He's ahead right now, Chris.
He's ahead right now.
Polls are you looking at the polls on the news media? Are you looking at 5:30 or something like that?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. I have not paid a ton of attention to the polls. Like every so often, I'll go to Real Clear Politics and they have all the averages. And as an example, if you go there, Brian Kemp has a pretty big lead on Stacey. Now, Stacey's chart is actually pretty good. So I look at it.
Yeah, and he doesn't have that big of a lead.
Well, then, I mean, that would be another major earthquake. This is a case where I don't have Kemp's time. I only have his day, and it's not that good. And hers is good.
Right. And also, part of the millions and millions of votes are happening in Georgia.
Yeah.
I guess the bigger question is in Georgia about that Senate race. Now, here's what's going to happen in Georgia.
What?
If Stacey Abrams and the opponent are that close and neither one of them get 50%, then there's a runoff.
Yeah.
So you could be feeling that. And I'm thinking the same thing's going to happen again down there in the Senate. I got a funny feeling there's going to be another runoff. And so, but that just hit me. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking there could be a runoff for governor down there.
Do you get any hit on what happens after that? Because then they have to go to a second election, right? So what do you get?
Well, I don't know, but that could be, Linda, why you're seeing Stacey Abrams winning.
Yeah. And let me tell you something else. President Trump hates the Satan, and he's talking trash about him.
Yes.
And also, they're talking about getting rid of Social Security, and that's the geriatric capital of the world.
Well, when they call Social Security an entitlement, that just fries me because it's not. We paid into it. I guess the bigger question is the governor's races, but the bigger question on everybody's mind is about the House and the Senate. And I know we've answered this question a gazillion times.
I didn't do the House, yeah.
But, you know, there's a very narrow lead the Dems have in the House. What is it, about 10 seats? Or I forget how many seats it is.
No, less, 5. Less.
5? Okay.
Yeah, but I see us getting more Senate seats and more House seats. And you can call me delusional, and I could be wrong, but that's what I see.
Well, that's why I was bringing up Georgia, because if neither one get 50%, then it's a runoff, and I keep seeing another runoff down there.
Now, I definitely see. Did I mention Fetterman's running for Senate, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw Fetterman beating Oz for sure.
Against Oz, he's running.
Yeah. And I saw the Reverend beat the gentleman that used to be a football player.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I saw Val Demings beat Marco Rubio.
Rubio. Wow. Well,
Wow.
I'm with that. I'm on board with all that. That's. I mean, the only thing is, I don't have a ton of charts for these people. Like the more they're not so well known. Sometimes I'll see it really clear in the day chart, but there are times where it's just too contradictory. I see enough on both
Exactly.
sides.
I can imagine.
But I was really struck by how good Stacey Abrams' chart is, in spite of the fact that she seems to be behind. And I thought, wow, it's kind of incredible because this is pretty good, you know.
Yeah. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you can't base it on the polls unless they're showing like a 15 or 20 point lead. Then there's something
Well, and
to
the
it.
polls, especially the polls at MSNBC and CNN, that 5:30, it's totally useless. Remember, the polls told us Hillary was going to win.
Well, she did actually. She won. She won the
but
popular vote.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to tell you guys something. I really feel comfort in Andre's prediction about Trump, because if this was going Trump's way, you would say, I don't know, Linda, his chart's really good, obviously. And for Biden's chart to look so good, it's got to be something like this. Like they hold it at least, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
well, my guys keep telling me Trump's going to find his water. I mean, he's going to catch his Waterloo, and it's coming a lot sooner than what we think. And you know, I don't know if he tries to run. They're gonna something's going to come up to prevent that. And I think a lot of Republicans, you know, publicly they might support him, but behind closed doors, they're scared to death that he's going to run.
Yeah.
Andre, what were you going to say?
No, I was following up on what you were saying, which is that one of the ways I try to do it is look ahead and see the cycles coming up in 23, 24. And it just makes zero sense because Biden's energy is easier then. Well, how is it going to be easier if you've got people trying to impeach you and, you know, casting aspersions right and left? What about Merrick Garland? He's a Scorpio. That's also easier energy going into 2023. So he's also up for a major problem. If you've got people like Jim Jordan and, you know, and Louis Gohmert and these people who are, you know, completely wackadoodle, throwing things at you and trying to impeach you and all the rest. So, and then Biden himself. So that's the logic I'm using and why I'm optimistic, you know, about the way this should turn out. So, yeah.
Yay.
Hey, you guys, we have 3,321 in the house. Thank you guys.
Wow.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Yeah, this is fun.
This was fun. So, should we take any questions, or
we can?
Or we just I won't go over an hour, you guys, because my rear starts hurting.
your bajingas or your badupas hurting.
Yeah. Oh wait, Kellyanne Conway. Somebody just mentioned. Here she is. Oh yeah, he will announce. I see. I've always saw him announcing. But what will help, interesting, Kimberly, thanks for the question or for the statement. What I think is going to help is the loss from November 8th. All that running around he did, just like in 2018, he went city to city. He said, if you vote Democrat, they're going to try to impeach me. Don't vote Democrat. And he lost by a landslide. And so I can't help but wonder, if he loses, all his picks lose, then how does the Republicans treat him?
Well, here's the thing. I saw in that chain that I think Regina, your cousin Linda, or somebody was the other night, like that the Republicans are paying Trump's legal fees. But if he runs for president, the Republicans won't be able to do that. And so Trump doesn't want to spend his own money. We know that.
Yeah.
So, but here's a question. I like this. Actually, Kimberly, this brought up another question. What do you all see for Kellyanne Conway? My guides tell me she's finished. She's washed up.
Did you ever look at her, Andre?
Another one with no time. Same with her husband. And I wonder how that marriage works, you know, with the two of them being on such totally opposite poles. I think already they're having problems, but it amazes me.
Okay.
I thought they were separated or divorced or something.
They might be already. I know that one of the things that was really comedic is that when she first was working with Trump, her daughter was a little younger, but then as her daughter aged a couple of years, she started to come out against her mother, and they had all these fights, and you know, so that family is pretty, you know,
it's got some issues.
Pretty embattled.
Lois wants to know what's going to happen to Twitter. Did you happen to look at Musk?
Yeah, I actually was talking with Milo about Musk. Twitter, like Musk's maneuver this year, is based on one of those Jupiter overreach, over expanding, kind of like the way Putin is treating Ukraine, where you move into territory beyond what you should be expanding into. And I think Musk has this idea that he's going to be this brilliant communicator, but I think he's in the wrong lane, and it might be a while. Like it could be 2, 3, 4 years before it becomes really problematic. But I think he's gonna start having problems right away, though, even before things collapse. I don't think it'll be smooth because I noticed all his planets are lined up so that Saturn is going to visit them for the next 5, 6 years, and
Oh, he's
Saturn
got
isn't
a
the
tough
planet you
time.
want.
No.
It's too complicated, when you're, especially, he's displaying a real lack of wisdom. I mean, some of the stuff he's doing, that thing with the Pelosi thing, that's just, come on, get an advisor who will tell you, don't do
You
that.
can tell he's Asperger's. You can tell he's not
Oh,
right.
Jesus, that's just so impolitic. These guys are going into political avenues and they're doing impolitic things. Why?
I see Twitter taking a dive, a big dive.
Mel,
I was
you
gonna
and I read on that, and we had nothing but bad cards.
And who was that? There's something like Twitter. I can't think of the name of it. I don't know if it's launched yet, but people are waiting that they have to wait to be a part of it, I think. And I can't think of this blue something.
The blue check?
Yes,
and you
I
got to
think
pay $8. And Stephen King said, so, whatever his name is. What is this guy we're just talking about? The Twitter
Musk.
guy.
Elon.
So, Elon, I don't have the blue check, but I'm still going strong on Twitter. And I'm not paying the $8. He refuses to pay the $8.
Well, I think at some point people won't have to. And I think if it's not the blue thing, it's something else that's gonna
Well,
really
he's losing money. He's bleeding money right now. Everybody's walking away from advertising with him.
It's really gonna. I see something coming along, but it's not the blue thing. It could be another thing like it that's really gonna surpass Twitter. What it reminds me of is, remember there was something called MySpace, and everybody was on it, and then Facebook happened, and it just boom, it skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And that's what I see for the next thing, like Twitter, but it's not Twitter, and it's gonna put Twitter out of business.
Oh, wow.
And the people won't let Elon Musk buy it, by the way. Not Twitter, but the next thing.
So Douglas was wanting to know if I still see Mike Lee winning, or do I see Mike Lee winning for Utah? Doug, I did it again today, and Mike Lee will not win. And the other guy is way ahead of him. And everybody in Utah really likes the guy running against him. And I just watched a bunch of stuff on him because he's a farmer. He was in the Marines for 4 years. He talks the talk of everybody, and he's just going to push Mike Lee out because he's saying Mike Lee's done nothing for Utah. And by the way, the other big Mormon guy that's from Utah, what's his name? Mitt Romney. He's not even giving a thumbs up for Mike Lee because he was part of the insurrection. Mike Lee was.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know that, but I see I see the opponent winning in Utah.
The opponent
yes.
to Mike Lee's opponent.
Yes.
Isn't that the guy that he's ex-army and he?
That's what Linda was just talking about, right?
McMullen, right? McMullen, is that his name?
I think that's his name, and he's ex-Marine, 4 years.
Mel, do you see the Congress being delayed in opening because there are representatives arrested for January 6th? We're hoping.
Fingers crossed.
Well, I see some of them being arrested because of January the 6th, but I don't think it's going to delay the Congress.
Well, I'm almost thinking when the Dems take over yet again, that's going to pretty much give them the wide open thing and say, let's start, Merrick Garland will just say, okay, let's go for it.
Well, the Republicans, if they take over the House, which I don't think they will, but if they do, they're going to do away with that whole committee. They're going to drop the charges on everybody. And that's why they're all waiting. But guess what? That won't stop Merrick Garland, because Merrick Garland, if he's investigating, then he still continues his investigation. It doesn't matter what they say.
It's true, but it would be a lot harder if they can take the House. They can really harass by calling them to testify and throwing a lot of mud. whereas now they can't. So a lot of these guys, they function on disinformation. They just keep throwing, mud in every direction, and hopefully we can stop that, because that wouldn't be good.
But if they try to whole misinformation thing, that's going to come out so fast, people's head will spin. I mean, the misinformationists still believe the misinformation, but if the Republicans did take over the House and tried some kind of committee, it will go about as far as Donald Trump's committees, not very, because it was all called out that it's a bunch of QAnon misinformation BS, and it's coming, and a lot of that's coming from Putin.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. It's just that in the meantime, we won't have the other committee. Like, the whole thing would be if we could.
Correct.
The
Correct.
House, I mean, that would be just, by the way, if that happens, Trump is just completely screwed. Completely.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Then there's
That's right.
there's no recourse. There's, everything is all ahead flank. And by the way, that's another marker, because when if you say, well, all right, Biden's is doing well, but Trump's isn't doing well. That's the whole point. Trump's is headed toward major trouble. So why would that be? Now, he's got enough on his own, but a lot of it is the political atmosphere surrounding him, right? And if
Right.
that's unfavorable, then that fits the pattern as well. So, yeah.
I'll tell you who else is going to be in trouble is Clarence Thomas, because I was just thinking when he stayed that thing with Lindsey Graham, but the court said no. He stayed it until the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court said no, he's got to testify. And so I'm thinking that Graham is thinking if the Republicans take over in Georgia, he's out of the woods, but he's not.
He's not. So do you guys think
And Clarence Thomas is gonna, I see Clarence Thomas in hot water.
Yay. Do you see Brittany Griner and Paul Walsh being released before Christmas? My answer is no. It's not going to be till the healing medium. My answer is no. It's not going to be till the spring, when Putin is going down.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
They're using her as a pawn. They really are.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They don't care what the truth is. So, okay, you guys. Well, thank you so much for everything. And you can always reach me at www.bodacioustatas.com. I wonder how many people are typing it in.
That's Tata.
Not really in there.
That's Tata with an H. TAHTAH.
I'm at astrology. I'm at astrologyassassin.net.
And I'm the crazy ass psychic.
Yeah, or Auntie Mel. Thank you guys for coming. 3,506.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, hey, Linda, I made it. I mean, it was good.
I'm so happy you made it, Mel, and that was my bad.
It's okay. We're here.
So I did this on StreamYard, but we got to teach you how to do StreamYard. But I'll definitely. You're going to have to handle next Monday.
Okay, but let's do this again with Andre, because I really enjoyed this.
Oh, this was fun, Andre.
Yeah, that was
Thank you
fun.
so much.
And Linda's told me so much about you, and I feel like I know you, but we finally get to meet. So it's my honor.
You need a reading from Andre too.
Okay.
Because anybody will introduce
we can read each other. It's always fun to read each other, right? For sure.
There
Yes.
you go. We'll trade.
Yes.
How's that?
Yeah.
All right. You guys stay well.
Thank you,
Everybody.
guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
All righty.
everyone. Cheers.
Bye.